welcome back to another episode of Dewan Punit Indonesia, the English version. Today, we will break down Indonesia's performances in the third round of the Asian World Cup qualifiers against Australia and Bahrain. Let's just get straight into it with our pundits here at the studio. We have Kiko and Rico.
Hello.
Firzi Idris. And of course, Adiani.
Yes, sir.
Hello. With his pink pants.
I like the flow.
This is the what do you call it? Naples vibes.
Nice. Not to mention the socks too, man.
And the Galaxy theme
combination.
socks.
Yeah.
Always with the unique combination.
Sardinia
Adiani.
vibes.
Nice. Damn.
How was your week, everyone? Indonesia
Good.
finally won against
Indonesia won.
Bahrain.
Yeah.
It was a pretty amazing match, I think. Mas Firzi?
Great game. Kiko, was it at the game, right?
I was at the game, yeah.
Oh yeah, you watched it at
Maybe
the
I was on
stadium?
pitch level. I don't like it watching pitch level because the ad board is there, so you don't.
Yeah,
see
you cannot
who's
see
getting
too
the ball
much,
and stuff.
yeah.
I mean, it's cool to be up close, but I thought it was a good game, especially in the beginning. Starting the second half, it was quite scruffy, but
Yeah.
a win's a win. That's what we needed. So yeah,
A win's a win. 3
A win is a
points
win.
yeah.
is a 3 points. And after what happened at Sydney, at Australia,
Yeah.
well, they finally turned it around. Coach Patrick, Coach Alex, Coach Danny, they can found that right mixture, the right formula to make the team ticks better than in Sydney. The team performed better. The selection from the start, I think it's the best that we have right now. And yeah, this is another statement win for Patrick Kluivert, his debut win. It's always good to have your 3 points, your first 3 points at GBK. So great atmosphere also at the game.
Crazy.
Yeah, Kiko can tell you more about that because we're on duty somewhere else, especially this guy over
Especially
here.
Adiani.
He's always on duty, guys. You never see him at the stadium, but
Yeah, sadly I
on
can't be in the stadium. Yeah. It's my loss
Yeah,
for the
of
past
course.
few years.
A few years.
We've seen different strategies from Patrick Kluivert in both matches. I mean, let's talk about Patrick Kluivert's tactical approach first. Against Australia, we saw a different setup compared to Bahrain, obviously. How would you rate the difference in strategy, and which one do you think suited Indonesia better? I think this is a pretty obvious question, Adiani.
For moi?
yeah.
Yeah. In Sydney, it was about Patrick maybe trying to figure out the perfect way to play, but he has his own ideas, and that idea was refreshing. It was a very progressive idea, which is, I think, quite suitable for a few of the players, but not everyone.
Yeah.
And he can now figure out which players he can trust on the pitch in terms of when things are not going very well. The leaders that can stood up in the game in Australia, and I think the setup was unbalanced, a bit too gung ho for his first game, but he was trying to show us, according to the ad, that he wants a different type of football, different style. Again, it's not the best way maybe because training-wise, it's not ideal with only a few sessions. If you're trying to implement your new philosophy, you need more than just 3-4
Couple of
sessions.
days,
And so that's why, hence the performance in Jakarta was a bit more balanced. But of course, it's still a bit samey with the old regime. I want it to be more progressive. I want to be more high. But then when you have the likes of Joey Pilipesi playing in that midfield, it makes a big difference compared to when you have Nathan there. The safety, the security that he provides for Tom Haye was the building block for a strong performance against Bahrain. But again, that is not pure Patrick Kluivert. It was still a transitional style of play. But at the end, we got the 3 points that we needed, and we got Ola Ramani in 2 first matches for Indonesia, doing very well, scoring the goals that we needed.
Sure, which does make sense. You don't want to change things just for the sake of changing things. You don't want to play more aggressive just because, but you have to have reasons. And at this stage of where we are right now at the table, I think the result right now is the most important thing. If you can get it with playing a bit more progressive football, that's great. But if you want to be more pragmatic, more status quo, about what the players can receive, the players are used to on the pitch, it's fine. It's totally fine. The end result is we need to get more points on the board than Bahrain and China, because we've got the opportunity to go past Australia, but then it proves to be too big of a stumbling block, even though it was there, the opportunity was there before the Australia game. But football and life is such like that. We cannot change it. It's done, and now we go back to our first goal actually, which is to be on the third or fourth spot to go on the fourth round.
Anything to add, Kiko?
I like it. I like how we're developing after the first game. I think it's unfair really to judge Patrick Kluivert and the team based on the first game.
Even for the first two matches, it's not.
Exactly. But I mean,
time limitations.
The jury is still out.
But the score reflected upon what happened against Australia. So 5-1 isn't beautiful at all. We played a different style of football. I think we have more possessions than Australia. So that's the only positive I can see from the Australia match, as well as how much Ole Romani moves. I like his game. He's not a pure striker, but he roams on top, left, right, and mid, and he goes back into the defense as well. So I like it a lot. I think he's the missing piece that we need up front. But in terms of player itself, Patrick said he's going to choose players based on them who gets the most minutes with the club. I think Nathan didn't get that with Swansea, and it was a bit of an odd choice to put Nathan in that game, and we saw it. Yeah, exactly, and we saw as well. But it was a bigger gamble, I think, to include Joey Pelupessy in. He even said, like, in a lot of videos, this is the first time for him traveling that far to play a football match. And I saw in one of the Timnas video that he said, I can't sleep. He was speaking in Dutch with Dean James. So I think it's a huge risk to put him being unfit, having traveled that far in that first game. But man, did he turn out in the second game. So I like this style of football in terms of how we progress through the midfield, through the wings. Hopefully we can stay consistent for the next window. So
some say that the biggest difference that we can see is actually on the defense line. Indonesia's three-man defense against Bahrain looked more solid with Justin Hubner, Rizky Ridho, and Nathan Izes. Who the hell is Nathan?
Come on, scriptwriter.
You have one job.
You have one job. Come on.
Come on. Who is Nathan Izes?
It's a trap.
it's a trap.
Let me just repeat that question so I don't get bullied, okay?
No, they're just testing you, I guess. testing you. You like that script kind of...
Okay, let's just rewind that for a bit. Some say that the biggest difference that we can see is actually on the defense line. Indonesia's three-man defense against Bahrain looked more solid with Justin Hubner, Rizky Ridho, and Jay Itzes. Do you guys agree with this?
Of course.
Yep.
Absolutely. The structure was different. The way that Jay Izzes plays in Australia and in Indonesia was different. That's because Hubner returns to the side, and Rizky Ridho, starting from the beginning of the match, is a big plus, and Verdonk playing in his favorite position. So Kluivert learns a lot from the first game, and credit to him and his staff for doing the changes, very, very good changes, and trying to be more pragmatic in that second game against Bahrain, trying to get that victory, which is all important. And I think in the game in Australia, Fiozi and Kiko, you can see that Jay Izzes was trying a new role, trying to get further forward towards the number 6, even number 8, and trying to connect with the midfield.
That's because they don't have any protection in front of them. So Jay needed to step up.
But I think that was something that Patrick wants Jay to do as well. I think
she's good at.
It is good if he has Mickey van de Ven beside him, who can cover 3 spaces at once. But Indonesia doesn't. By the way. Indonesia needs to sign Van de Ven before he was playing for Koeman. But it's too late now. And you see that adjustment that he made in the game against Bahrain, where now is playing what he is good at. which is protecting that back line, having control, and then trying to dictate from the back line and not going further forward. And that job is Calvin Verdong's duty. And then Rizky Ridho, who has that capability in trying to get involved into the midfield, pushing the ball further forward. But then you have a guy here in Ridho that can read the game very well. Off the ball, he was spot on. From minute 1 until the end. And that goes for Joey Pelupessy as well, winning the 50-50 battles, completing his short passes, almost 100%, I think. So in terms of the style that Pelupessy adds in that midfield, not just the steal, but how he covers the back line as an extra defender, that is what we need in terms of a player playing alongside Tom Haye.
Yeah, I think we saw with the chemistry between our back line, they are the best that we have right now. This will, I don't know, maybe we can say it will create a problem with Mies when he comes back, but Mies will now have to fight for his place. He's not an automatic starter now with Ridho playing so well. The understanding that he has on that right axis with Jai and with Kevin Dix in front of him, Marcelino also. He contributed a lot towards our progressive plays because Ridho, he made like 11 passes onto the final third. In context, this is more than what Tom Haye did during the match, which he's done 7 passes to the final third. This is the proof how Patrick really likes also how Ridho can be involved more in the build-up, because there's this one moment where Ridho there's no player around him, and Patrick said, move, go forward, go with the ball, go forward. And he then released a great ball towards Marcelino in front of him. So yeah, I think the balance is right with this back line. I think this is better than what we saw at Australia, and credit to Patrick also. He must have had significant discussions with his players, with the leadership in the team, with his tactical analysis team, what went wrong, what went right. For a fact, the national team analyst team were in the media gantry and in the Australian game, and my colleague overheard Gerald Vandenberg saying that the two pivots are too far apart from each other.
They were split.
They were split. Nathan and Tom was.
But that was credit to the setup that Popo made. With the midfield trying to create that overload and splitting down the center. With they make the space between the midfielders as well with the back line. I think that's credit to Popo. It's a trap. Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
So they fell right into it. But credit where it's due. So they mix things up. It's not about just personal changes, but the character of the personnel, with Joey playing there, protecting the lines, protecting the defensive line, doing just the simple stuff. After the game in the mixed zone, he said, I'm just trying to do my best for the team. This is not about me. I'm just happy if I'm being there, help the team to show more quality on our game. So that's the kind of mentality that we need, the kind of selfless mentality, the kind of team-based thinking that we are embracing with the team right now. And this is really, really great.
It's good character, really, with the team. And they're covering a lot of positions. If you see them, they're almost everywhere. Like Rizky Ridho was doing a tiki-taka pass in the middle of the pitch at the end of closer to the end of the game. He was out wide in the back line as well. So we've got a lot of positions to cover. For example, if Kevin Dix goes up forward and we don't get a lot of cover, and then there's always somebody covering. So I like it. We look better. We look sharper in the defense. But yeah, speaking of Kevin Dix, even though he didn't have a good game, I thought he still played solid, because I don't think anybody in the national team can connect defense and offense like him at the moment.
It takes a lot of risk, but he has the best cover in Pelupessy.
Exactly.
So he knows that there's a license for him to roam forward and to connect with the likes of Ola Romani and Marcelino Ferdinand and Ragnar.
And again, I think it's harsh to to criticize him having that role, and then him opening up the defense. Because I see a lot of that people talking against Kevin Dix, but that's just part of the system, and that's how and that's how we know the other players are good as well, because we cover it. They cover it, so.
And Patrick and his team, like, they obviously did their homework. They targeted that left-hand channel from the Bahrain side. They spotted the weakness there. They spotted the weakness in the
they
half
made
space.
two changes in that back line.
They made the changes there, and with the balls that came in from Tom High, with the balls that came in from Rido, there's a lot of space for Kevin to work. At any other day, if he's more sharp, if he maybe
I think if he's more fit, because I think he's carrying a bit of an injury.
That injury
Chelsea
against Chelsea game. And if Marcelino can finish that chance in front of goal, then he could very well get his first assist for the national team. But the way, Kiko, right, the way he bombs up and down the field, and we saw a few moments in the game where he was like the last defender. Also, he uses his body well to defend in the penalty area without fouling the offensive player from the opposition team. He uses his strength, his massive body. He uses to duel with Erling Haaland with Manchester City in the Champions League. So that's a great experience to bring to this team. That will only benefit us.
When was the last time you can say that an Indonesian player is playing against Chelsea and Erling Haaland? I think we're up for a treat, man.
We're in the twilight zone. This is something very special cooking here for us. It's quite a stir that we are creating in the group, the Group C, and the way things are going is going to be even wilder in June. Sadly, this June's fixture is very strange, and I think FIFA needs to take a look. AFC needs to take a look.
Because it came in a few weeks after the end of the season.
The end of the season, and then there's like a 10 to 14 days break for the players, and strangely they have to come back to camp, and that is just strange. And then there's the World Club Cup. Oh my God, that is a serious problem. I think they should just scrap it. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But FIFA being FIFA,
that's crazy.
I love FIFA.
Anyway, we also saw Kluivert's changes in midfield. Eliano Reinders was used as a substitute, while Ricky Kambuaya played a very significant role. How do you compare their performances?
I love the substitutions.
Yeah, the subs were good. I think Ricky Kambuaya he had a statement game, I think. The way that he is one of the best players, I think top 3 in Beta Liga 1. His season is unbelievable with Dewa, and we've spoken good things about him, and tried to figure out who's going to be the perfect fit alongside Tom Haye after that Australia game. And I said Ricky Kambuaya should be given a chance to play there. But then you have Pelupesi, who was excellent, and then when he came onto the pitch, Kambuaya, he has that magic in the final third, the creativity, I think the pure magic of the confidence that he has, and then the pass with the outside of the foot, it was just brilliant. So I think coming off the bench, having a player that I think is possibly the MVP maybe for the season from Beta Liga 1 is a great plus. Eliano Reinders, I've been following him in the Eredivisie. I do a lot of PEX Volley games, and he is playing on that left wing-back position and not doing very well. I think Patrick wants to use him in a different,
more offensive,
role, maybe the number 10 or the number 11.
He's playing number 10, I think.
We've seen him pop up at their penalty area, the opposition penalty area, quite a few times, right?
But if his form for PEX Volley is not good, coming into the national side, he will struggle because he's a bit low in confidence. I think 2 great opportunities, one in Sydney, one in Jakarta, that he fails to convert. But again, there's a lot of time, maybe if it's given to Eliano to work on his finishing, and because it's a different role that he's going to play for Indonesia. So this is going to be an interesting situation if Eliano is picked again for the matches in June.
Yeah, on a positive note is that he finds himself in that position, in that goal-scoring position. He got that knack for receiving the pass in the opposition's penalty area, and he tries 2 times to try to score with his first touch. Maybe if he could be calmer, if he could be more clinical with his finishing, we will be talking this in a different tone about him, obviously. But Eliano was one of the players that in the spotlight in the November or October qualifier zone, because the way he was not implemented in the list of players, in the 23 players, that caused a lot of stir, but now he got his chance. Yeah, I really wish for him the best. I really wish him to get the scoring boot on for the national team, because his brother scoring goals for fun. Maybe he should take a lesson from his.
I feel for his brother actually. I feel for Tiani. I feel for him.
Why?
Because AC Milan. Time and time again relies on him. It's not his job to save Milan every single game.
But he's so good.
For Tiani, he's so good, but it's not fair for him to do all the extra load of work where you have the likes of Santi and then Rafa not doing their jobs for that attacking line. So I think for Eliano, his brother is a source of inspiration. But I don't know if Patrick wants to use him as a number 10 or 11, which is, I think, what he stated himself, that number 11 is his best position. But for Pex Volley, he's not playing week in, week out after struggling in that left wing back. And then you have Dean and Calvin Verdon doing very well. Maybe that number 11 spot where Ragnar is playing right now, and along with Kluivert, Strike, trying to fight out for that position. I think Eliano is in with a shout, but maybe if his performance in the Eredivisie is not showing an improvement, maybe this is another spot that Patrick might find someone else to call upon.
I think we might want to see him more on the ball. I think we want to see him with the ball at his feet, driving.
But physically, I think
but
there is a bit of a problem.
He's quick. I don't know. Maybe he can drive through players with his feet.
Because I think in international football, the tempo is a bit slower. And that is where he struggles maybe. And Pex Volley is playing with a high octane, high press type of
more direct football,
a football style, but they don't have the personnel that fits that way of play, and that's why Pex Volley is struggling in the Eredivisie, and it's not the best of times for Eliano. So if Kluivert can figure out his best position, maybe in that more attacking formation of his, maybe up front in the number 11 should be the place where Eliano is more suitable.
But like, speaking about him having the ball, I don't know. I didn't like what I saw with him having the ball. Maybe it was a tight space in the right side, because again, I couldn't see the ball because of the ad points.
So you judge him by his waist up. By his waist up.
It was so funny.
His head popped up.
But it didn't.
Boing boing boing.
It didn't look like it was a guaranteed, offense or dribble or whatever from that right side from the ad
like
board.
His sharpness or his
it
body
just didn't look
language
sharp from the body language, from what happened with the ball, because of you could only see the ref doing this and that from where the ball is going. So maybe it's unfair to judge because it's a very tight space on the right side. But I like his movement. He got into position, so that's one thing, and I hope not just him, but we saw Marcelino miss a sitter as well. I hope everybody does upgrade their or work on their finishing, because it's
it could be fatal.
Exactly. At the 78th minute, you missed that 1-0, and maybe
it should be more comfortable for Indonesia.
Exactly.
If Marcelino can convert his chance, and then I think he has two chances. The one from the right side as well for Marcelino. I think
he can pass it to Ole.
He could have passed it to
Ole. But I think there was an upgrade in terms of how Marcelino is now playing. Credit to maybe Gary Rowett at Oxford, and credit to Patrick Kluivert, who was a great forward. More efficient in terms of his movement, and the ball carries are more effective. And I think he's refining his game, and now he's improving a lot under Kluivert, I think. So that's a great positive for a player like Marcelino. And I think now he becomes more confident in trying to interact with the front line, with Ragnar, with Ole Romani, and Ole always provides that runs that maybe for Marcelino is perfect to get that pass, that killer pass to Ole Romani.
I think the way he's understanding with Ole, because when Marcelino received that ball, Ole's instinct was to drive towards the penalty area, leaving the defenders behind. He knows what Marcelino can do with the ball, and credit to Marcelino, the way he controlled the ball, the way he poked that pass through the defensive line towards Ole, who got a bit of time to think what he wants to do, because in the press conference after the game, he said he was thinking maybe to chip the ball in, but in the end he said that he just blasted it in. But
who was this, sorry? Who is
Ole,
it?
Ole,
Oh,
Ole.
Ole, yeah. Because he now he
okay.
got 2 goals from 2 games, one with his left foot, one with his right.
Hmm.
So the next goal, ideally, will be his head. It will be like the perfect start
Perfect
for
combination.
for his Indonesian career. But yeah, with his celebration going on in social media, I think he's a great kid, and the reason for his celebration is also very nice. He tells people to stay positive,
Yep.
to stay how
Head up high.
Keep your
even
chins
how
up.
hard life may be.
Head,
keep your
chin
chin
up,
up.
Yeah.
Make a
that's
comic book maybe. All they can make a
Oh.
comic book with the story behind that celebration.
Ole, ole, ole.
Ole, ole,
Type
ole,
of-
yeah.
I think that was Marvel-esque.
By the way, again, going back to the subs, I liked how we executed the subs. Everybody answered to their roles. Sananta supposed to press up forward.
Yeah.
You know what I think he could have worked on more is the difference with Sananta. Again, Sananta and Ole, the way they protect the ball.
Yeah.
It's already different, you can see it, but I hope that's something he can work on. But he definitely answered to the role in terms of pressing, bringing the ball up forward, the long balls, because he has that as well.
Yeah.
Other ones, Ivar Jenner also answered to the call, and Sandy Walsh as well, and Kambuaya. Perfect substitution. Controlled the ball and got smacked in the head, got down and still got back up. So everybody has heart in this team.
Yeah. Next up, we're going to talk about some of the names that finally made their debut with Timnas Indonesia against Bahrain on our previous match. So stay tuned only on DPI EV.